in 2012, I was sitting in a coffee shop in Tel Aviv, and I was in a long-distance relationship with my now wife. And I was looking for my first US feature. And I was reading the newspaper, and suddenly I saw this crazy montage of a neo-Nazi skinhead named Brian Widener. His entire face were tattooed, his entire body, with swastikas and all this stuff. And slowly, in this montage, his face became normal. And I was like, okay, this is interesting, I need to read the article. And I read the entire article, and I found out that this guy made the impossible, from being a monster to a normal man. So I called my grandfather, who's a Holocaust survivor, and he taught us everything about tolerance, about acceptance, about love. And I asked him, what do you think about this story? And he said, if there's one movie you should do, it's this one. And he gave me the green light. And then I called my wife and I sent her the article, and she said the same thing. And we were looking for Brian Widener, and we didn't know where to find him, but there was a MSNBC documentary named Erasing Hate about Brian Widener, about his process, and I saw it, and we called MSNBC, and MSNBC gave us the email address of Brian Widener. And I wrote him a very, very emotional email about myself, about my grandparents, why an Israeli Jew should tell this story. And after 2 months, he wrote me back, if you're really serious, why don't you come and meet me in Albuquerque, New Mexico? So I came from Tel Aviv, my wife came from Los Angeles, and we met them in a scene like Breaking Bad. It was like a desert town in a small coffee shop. But you know what? He's the first ex-neo-Nazi skinhead I met, and I'm the first Jew he met, and we had an amazing weekend where he told me I didn't know why I was hating Jews, or Mexicans, or African Americans. They just taught me to hate from the age of 14. And he started telling me about his family and how he was a kid, a street kid, and he was collected by those people that gave him home and food, like a cult. So he gave me his life rights, he wrote it on a napkin. I went back to Los Angeles, and I started writing the script. Now, jump to 2016. I'm sending the script together with my ICM agents to 55 producers in Hollywood, wanting to get an answer if they invest in my film. Every single producer said, it's a great script, we love your work in Israel, but there are no real neo-Nazis in the States. It's a myth. We're not going to invest money in like 5 people from the Midwest. So I was just like really frustrated, and then my brother and my wife told me, look, all your films were shorts before. Why don't you make a short before Skin, and it will make Skin the feature happen. But I couldn't. How do you take this vast, crazy story into 20 minutes, short? And then the miracle happened. Sharon Maimon, who is an amazing filmmaker and a good friend from my college, he called me and he said, I have a great idea that will bring us to the Oscar. And I was like, okay, let's not talk about the Oscar, but tell me about the idea. So he told me about the idea, and my jaw dropped. It was brilliant. And we wrote it over a weekend, and we called, my wife and I, we called our banker, and we said, look, we want to put all our retirement money into the short. And he called us back and he said, it's a bad idea, do not do that. So my wife sent him the script, Skin the short, and then he called us 5 minutes afterwards and said, it's a great idea, I think you should do it tomorrow. And that's how Skin the Short started. We shot it very fast with amazing people, with Daniel McDonald, with amazing actor, and with amazing crew. And we edited in Tel Aviv. We did the post-production in Tel Aviv. And we sent it to the same 55 producers that said no. Now, it's 2016. Trump got elected. Charlottesville happened. the massacre in the synagogue in the East Coast, Sharet Zedek, happened, so the world became crazy and the states became crazy as well. 3 producers who are angels, who had the vision and the balls to do that. Oren Moverman, Celine Rattray, and Trudy Styler said yes. So, Skin the Feature starts to go to film festivals, and then Skin the Short is trying to get also to film festivals, but we got no from Cannes, no from Berlin, no from Sundance, places that I've been with like years ago. So I was, okay, so it's not going to get to any film festival, but at least it made the feature happen. When we were in Berlin, we got notification that the short Skin won a small film festival in Los Angeles named Holy Short. And it means that if you win this film festival, you can send the film to the Oscar. It's one of those 100 film festivals that are legit for the Oscar. So we did send the film to the Oscar, not knowing what's going to happen. And later on, after 2 months, we're getting a phone call from the Academy that we got into the short list, meaning the 10, the best 10. And from these 10, you go into the 5. And then it was 5 a.m. My wife and I are standing in front of the TV. Our baby girl, Alma, is sleeping. And we are waiting for the results of the Best Short Film, 5 nominees. And it's a miracle that we're in the 5. And, you know, it's a miracle because the short film was done for the feature film to happen. But it was the night that we will never forget. Of course, also our baby was born, a baby Alma. And I want you to see the moment that was like, you know, I would never forget it. The moment of winning the best film, the short. First of all, thank you for having us, Andreas. It's a privilege to be here and show the film in Mexico and Puebla. And I love being here. It's amazing. But I want to say to each one of you, you know, the world is crazy right now. And we see movies about, you know, entertaining movies. We see superhero movies, and that's fine. That's there. But if you there, you know, you have the power to take a camera and to show real life story that means a lot, that have a meaning, that have a message to the world. It's very important for us to make this cinema because there's not a lot of cinema like that right now. So if we can bring films to kids, to 14-year-olds, to teenagers, and teach them a little bit about the world, a little bit about the message that we want to bring across, this is what we need to do as filmmakers. We have a goal. This is our goal. And now, please, I want you to see the trailer for the feature Skin that was done after the short. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
One of the most important moments of Ciudad de las Ideas is always our debate. I hope you share it tomorrow with us. Last year we had a big debate about if we should tolerate the intolerant. It was called the hate debate. I would like to hear your opinion about it.
About shooting.
If we should tolerate people that are intolerant, that they hate.
Look, I think that, and it's a very interesting question because, you know, when I did this movie, I came from, it's not like I did a perfect redemption movie, okay? But if there's someone, and I'm quoting Darrell Lamont Jenkins, who is an African-American activist, he says, if there's somebody that I see that want to do the change, and he's a monster, I'm willing to be there for him. But you need to know that the other side wants to do the change as well. It's a dialogue. And I do believe in tolerance, I do believe in listening, I do believe in dialogue, and because if we're not going to do that, we can continue the cycle of violence through years and years. So I do believe in that, and I do believe that if someone really wants to do the change, you need to be there for him.
Imagine somebody doesn't want to make the change.
Well, it's a different story then. You need to, you know, it's funny because when I met Brian Widener, he was like, I'm not a political person. I don't give a damn about politics. For me, it's about like food. It's about home. I was a kid. I was 14-year-old. So I think that most of them are not even political. They don't even have political agenda. They just want home, food, and a hug. It sounds a little bit naive, but look at all those kids that are joining all those gangs. They basically don't have home and they're out of in the streets. So look, it's a different ball game if it's someone who doesn't want to do the change, but we need to find the one who does.
Un enorme aplauso, por favor.
Thank you.